Welcome back to Futbol Mundial, where as usual I'm joined by newly mustachioed Michael McCubbin. Oh God, look at that. To bring you the hottest news from the footballing world.
Yes, wish I could say the same for you, Zach, but he can't grow a moustache.
I can't.
Very disappointing. But today we have a superstar in tears, a Super League returning, and some super duper fans. Keep your eyes peeled. That was a rubbish intro, I'm sorry, that was really badly written, but... We begin in India, where after a wait of nearly 12 months, the Super League is finally about to get underway once again.
Yes, the last edition of the tournament ended in December 2016, and this time round there are some notable changes and some fresh faces.
Yes, indeed. This season the league is being expanded to 10 teams, with Bengaluru, previously of the I-League, and Jamshedpur, who were newly formed this summer and boast Steve Coppell as their first manager, being thrown into the mix.
But the most notable development is over in Kolkata, where Premier League legend Teddy Sheringham has been appointed manager, despite his coaching experience amounting to one tragic spell in charge of Stevenage, who he nearly got relegated from the Football League back in 2016.
Yes, and considering they're defending the title this campaign, it's probably not the most logical decision from ATK. But let's not jump the gun. Sheringham does have a 42-year-old UC Leicester
He's still playing.
Yeah, indeed. And a 37-year-old Robbie Keane on his side. Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. So anything could happen.
Other notable arrivals in the league include Dimitar Berbatov and Wes Brown, who will be hoping to bring their Old Trafford glory days to Kerala. And they have actually host Sheringham's Kolkata in the first fixture this Friday in a rerun of the 2016 final. Tasty stuff. Over to France now to talk about Brazil. Anyway, they have carried on their fine form by beating Japan 3-1 in a friendly on Friday, and it was Neymar who once again stole the headlines.
Yes, the PSG man scored a penalty and then missed another one just 7 minutes later, but that's not the reason why he's in the news this week. Why is he in the news?
Well, surprise, surprise, it's his supposed unhappiness in Paris, which is the centre of attention. And finally, the media's questioning has gotten so far under the Brazilian skin that he's forced liquid to discharge from his eyes, aka tears.
Oh my God, yes. The £200 million man broke down in tears in the post-match press conference alongside Seleção manager Tite after telling journos that he was sick of their made-up stories. He also went on to claim he had no beef with Cavani or manager Unai Emery, whom he was reported to have differences with before.
This all came to a head after new gossip emerged linking the Paris forward with a move back to Spain, but not to Barcelona, instead Real Madrid.
Yes, and Tite also jumped to Neymar's defence, commending his talisman's personality and character in a very composed manner, I must add. The man oozes charisma. Fantastic speaker, before letting him slink out of the conference early. But what do you think of this whole fiasco? Could Neymar go to Real Madrid? Let us know down below. On the subject of floods of tears, let's go down to Qatar, where the country's under-19 goalkeeper was shedding some himself. And no, it wasn't for the plight of labourers building their World Cup stadiums.
No, it certainly wasn't. Shihab Madou's emotions came to the forefront during his country's penalty shootout with Iraq, which determined who would qualify for next year's under-19 Asian Championship.
Yes, Mamdou pulled off a terrific save to decide the shootout and send his country through, or so he thought. As he was celebrating with his teammates, the ref blew his whistle and pulled the game up, before showing the stopper a second yellow card. Check this.
ترجيحية واحنا في قطر يا اخوان الجو تغير في بطاقة صفراء. يا أخي مش وقتك يا شيخ.
Yes, as you can see, Mamdou was not best pleased with the ref's decision that he stepped off his line, and the argument which followed got him sent off. The keeper cut a dejected figure as he left the field, clearly thinking he'd cost his country qualification. But then this happened.
What an emotional rollercoaster. Mamdou and his team will now be waiting eagerly for the tournament, which takes place in Indonesia next year. But could this be the start of Qatar actually getting a half-competent squad together ahead of 2022? Probably not. But do you disagree? Let us know your thoughts.
But the biggest f*** up of the week came in the Women's Champions League, where Barcelona travelled to Lithuania to face Gintra in the last 16.
Yes, the Blaugranes swept aside their opponents 6-0, but the match was far from boring, with the hosts coming oh so close to pulling one back when they were just 3 behind.
In the 66th minute, Barca keeper Sandra Panos fluffed a clearance, and all of a sudden it was 3-on-1. It's got to be a goal. Come on.
Oh my days, how on earth did that happen? Well, regardless of who was to blame there, Gintra fell apart, letting in another 3 goals, with one coming from Chris Howell's favourite player, Tony Duggan.
But what is the worst mistake you've ever made on a football pitch? Michael has made a fair few. Let us know in the comments with the hashtag #IMustConfess.
Britney Spears quote there.
My loneliness is killing me. I must confess, I still believe.
Thanks, Michael.
We finish off in the World Cup qualifiers, and over the weekend, a couple of Ireland fans did a good job of adding some much needed fun to an otherwise atrocious international break.
Yes, they may have watched their team draw 0-0 in their playoff first leg away to Denmark on a weekend which just saw 7 goals scored across 7 games, but it was the manner in which they cheered on the boys in green which made things interesting.
Indeed, as these supporters were far from boys in green themselves, instead donning the red and white of Denmark. After failing to get tickets in the away end, and with security strict on prohibiting opposition fans from entering the home section, Alan O'Neill and Barra de Royster had to do a bit of undercover work.
That is a great name.
Yeah.
According to the two jokers, they had to borrow one of the De Roster's children's red face paint and plastered it on in a nearby park in Copenhagen, where they also had to discard their prize Irish scarves. But that still wasn't enough for them to gain entry into the stadium, as unsurprisingly, they couldn't speak Danish.
So what on earth did they do about it, I hear you ask? Well, they already had that base covered. When confronted by security, they pretended they were from Birmingham and were part of a fan club dedicated to former Denmark and Aston Villa centre-back Martin Laursen, even brandishing a pretend letter saying they'd won tickets for the game through the fan club. Absolute perfection.
That is Joe Tomlinson football manager levels of dedication there.
It is.
Let's hope they're rewarded tonight when the two sides battle it out in Dublin.
So that was Futbol Mundial, over for yet another week. But what did you think of the stories? Let us know in the comments below. And is there anything we should be covering next week? Let us know on the Twitter handles on screen right now. Zach, where should the good people go next?
Well, first, vote in the poll above my head. What do you think of Michael's Mo? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it atrocious? And then once you've done that, head over to FDFC, where the behind the scenes of the FD versus EFD match has gone live last night. And get ready for Saturday on Football Daily, where the actual match comes out. It is one of the best things we've done in a long time.
Exciting
and
stuff.
as always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.